Hello everyone, my name is Chloe. I'm here with my dad, Jim Bock.
Hello.
He is running for re-election for Mill Creek Township Supervisor. I am his campaign manager, and I will also be acting as his interviewer tonight. Now, I think my dad is a great guy, but I am a little biased. So Dad, for everyone out there who doesn't know much about you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you did before entering the supervisor position 6 years ago?
Be happy to. Born and raised in Mill Creek. I'm a proud graduate of McDowell High School. And after high school, I went to work in the insurance field with my dad and attended college simultaneously. And then after about 10 years of that field, I left that field and went into the Pennsylvania State Police Academy in Hershey, PA. Graduated from that and became a Pennsylvania State Trooper and served with them for 25 years. 3 years down in Indiana County and 22 years up here in Lawrence Park. And then when I retired in 2017, I then chose to kind of repurpose myself and enter the field of politics and became a Mill Creek Township Supervisor at that time. So I've been in this role for 6 years.
Very nice. Now, I'm even kind of curious about this. As you mentioned, you've been doing this for 6 years. What made you want to run initially 6 years ago? Was retired life too easy for you, or what made you want to do that?
In my college years, I started to kind of garner a kind of an affection for politics and an interest in politics. As a matter of fact, I did some grassroots work for then Tom Ridge, who was district attorney in Erie and eventually became governor of Pennsylvania. So I did some work on his campaign. And that kind of jump-started an interest in politics for me. With the state police, you were prohibited from actually conducting any political activity. So for 25 years, I simply followed politics and local government. I always had an interest in Mill Creek government in particular since I resided there. So it seemed like a good fit for me after I retired. And after discussing it with my family, I decided to try it.
Very nice. So you've already been doing this for 6 years. Why do it again? What is motivating you to run again? And how are you going to use what you've learned over the course of this last 6 years to help you improve should you be reelected?
Mm-hmm. I will say this, it is a very stressful job. People don't see a lot of the components that go into a day at the township. It is very stressful, but a lot of it is a good stress. There's a lot of constituents that come in with questions and challenges, and of course a lot of people are not happy with decisions you might make, and I do always try to make the best decision I can with the information I'm given. And the reason I decided to run for re-election, Chloe, was because I really want to be a voice for the residents, particularly with regards to fiscal responsibility. I really feel a responsibility to the taxpayer of Mill Creek Township. I'm really looking out for their dollars. It is their money. And so that is my main focus as I re-energize for the next 6 years, is to laser focus on that aspect.
And so what are some of the main concerns that you have found the residents of Mill Creek have had, and how are you going to better address those should you be re-elected?
One of the main issues that comes up really almost daily at the township is the roads. Residents are very concerned about the condition of their street, and they want their streets maintained. So we had always had our own asphalt plant at the township. It's located behind the township building. And when I arrived there, we decided to take the step of actually shutting that plant down. It was becoming very expensive to operate. PennDOT was requiring a different mix. It was an expensive proposition. So we made the decision to actually shut down our asphalt plant. It was not an easy decision, but I really feel it was the correct decision. And what that enabled us to do was to then contract out paving with an independent paving contractor who specializes in paving. And that freed up our workforce to then concentrate on road maintenance instead of actually paving roads. So our work crew then became dedicated to doing cleaning of storm sewers, trimming of trees, which helps with sunlight getting in to dry out the road. And it's really been a big help to us moving forward. In the last 5 years, we have paved approximately 80 miles of roads, and this year we're going to be paving 20 more miles. So in the last 6 years, we have paved over 100 miles of roads, and there are 210 miles of roads in the township. So in essence, we're halfway there. And if we keep up this aggressive paving schedule, we should be able to get to all 210 miles of roads. Now, of course, as soon as you start paving a road, it begins breaking down. And the winters up here are very hard on roads. So that is also one of my focuses, should I get reelected in the next 6 years, is to continue with the 20-mile per year or more paving schedule. And that's a very aggressive schedule, but that's money well spent, and the residents really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Any main concerns beyond roads? I know that's kind of a given for Erie, like you said. Is there anything else that maybe wouldn't come to the forefront of people's minds as a concern that you come across day to day?
Well, one concern that actually is at the forefront of people's minds is stormwater as well. People call us a lot regarding stormwater. You know, if you're not having an issue, you really don't think about it. If your yard drains well, if you have a sandy or gravelly soil and you have no issues, you really don't think there's a problem. But there are various areas in Mill Creek, we call them hot spots, that actually have some water issues. They're not easily correctable, unfortunately. It takes a lot of time, a lot of money, engineering studies, but again, I am committed to going into our general fund and allocating the necessary funds to begin to at least systematically deal with the stormwater issues in these areas of the township. And any resident that's in those areas, obviously, they know where they're at. The township knows where they're at. Unfortunately, we have to navigate a lot with state regulations, DEP, PennDOT. So there's a lot of hurdles associated with correcting stormwater, and I certainly don't want to use that as an excuse, but the reality is it's not just as easy as the township going in and actually, you know, fixing it within a week. It's right. A very intensive process, but one that we are committed to.
So it is clearly not just you running the ship over there by yourself. There are other people who work there. Can you share a little bit about the workforce at the township?
Yeah, there is a supervisory board of 3. I work alongside Dan Olette and Kim Clear presently. That's the Board of Supervisors. We have an administration department. We have a police department. We have a planning and development department, which includes zoning, engineering. We have a code enforcement department, and we have a public services department, which is now known as Community Relations and Sustainability. We've recently renamed that. And that includes our Parks and Rec department, our recycling department. So we have approximately 210 employees. Wow. In the township. So it's a big operation, and it takes a lot to run it. We have about a $35 million budget, and $14 million of that budget comes for the police department, public safety. Currently, we have 66 officers on the police department. We have a new chief. Chief Height recently retired, and Chief Carter Mook is now heading the police department. So I'm very proud of all of our employees and our workforce. They're very hardworking, they're dedicated, and sometimes I think they don't get the appreciation that they deserve. But we're all there every day, just doing our best.
Absolutely, that's all you can do. So lastly, for people who want to get involved in your campaign, what is the best way for them to do so, and what's the best way for them to contact you if they have any questions or if they want to voice any concerns to you?
Thank you, Chloe. As I said, I have decided to run for re-election for Mill Creek Township Supervisor. And I would appreciate your vote in the May primary. It's May 16th, and then in the general election on November 7th. I'm dedicated to the residents of Mill Creek Township. I plan on continuing to serve them throughout this year and then 6 years moving forward. I want to emphasize that I am a fiscally conservative candidate. I put the taxpayer first in all my decisions, and I'm looking forward to serving the community for the next 6 years. I really feel that the experience I've gained in the last 5 years has really enabled me to continue to serve the residents of Mill Creek Township moving forward. I don't believe there's any other candidate that has not only the life experience that I bring, but also my experience in the workforce with police and just dealing with people. I think that's one of my primary strengths, is I do relate to the residents well, and I try to always get back to them with their concerns and questions. So I would appreciate your support. If you want to get involved in our campaign, we are on Facebook, and you can always get a hold of me at the Township Building. We're looking for poll workers, we're looking for people to put up signs, and just if anybody would like to talk to me about helping out in our campaign or any other concerns that you would have, be happy to answer them. And I appreciate your support. Thank you.